Let me talk to you about a new powerful credit card from US Bank. Maximum limit $75,000, minimum FICO 560. No personal guarantee. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you were to ask me, if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about a large personal credit card from US Bank. And before we get into the actual video, please understand that this video is purely informational, purely educational, okay? We have no association with US Bank, no relationship. They're not paying us to do this video. We just love sharing wonderful information and helpful information with our viewers. So what are the credit card facts here? So this is actually a new version of a card that already exists. So the card is the US Bank Altitude Go Visa Signature Card. Just look on the screen. She is so beautiful, right? Whew. Beautiful, beautiful. So the US Bank Altitude Go Visa Signature Card. This is an unsecured credit card, and you can also get it as a co-signed credit card. The amount, $75,000. Minimum credit score, 560. APR, 14.99% to 23.99%. There are no fees, and decision speed in terms of approval, 3 days. Fantastic, 3 days. And there are no extra conditions. So this is a card that allows you to earn 4x points on takeout, food delivery, and dining. And they have a welcome offer where you can earn 20,000 bonus points worth $200. So just spend $1,000 within the first 90 days of account opening, and that's fantastic. You can also enjoy a 0% intro APR on purchases and balance transfers for the first 12 billing cycles. After that, the APR is variable. As I said, the APR will oscillate between 14.99% and 23.99%. And there are other cards, by the way. There are other cards that US Bank offers. They have the US Bank Altitude Connect Visa Signature Card, and the credit limits on this one is $100,000. The credit score required minimum is 590. Okay. You also have the US Bank Cash Plus Visa Signature Card. The credit limit here, the maximum credit limit is $100,000. The credit score minimum is 630. You also have the US Bank Visa Platinum Card. The amount maximum is $75,000. The credit score minimum is 660. And you have here the US Bank Altitude Reserve Visa Infinite Card. And the maximum limit amount that they can give you is $250,000. And the credit score minimum to qualify for this card is 690. Okay, but in this show, we want to focus on the low-hanging fruits. We want to focus on the US Bank Altitude Go Visa Signature Card, which gives you a maximum limit of $75,000 and a credit score, minimum credit score of 560. That's wonderful. Now, let me quickly talk to you about the issuer. So, folks, in this show, I am talking to you about a massive personal credit card from US Bank. Fantastic card, and we have the maximum limit here is $75,000. Minimum credit score is 560. Okay, no personal guarantee, and this is a card that even does a soft pull. So let's talk about the issuer. So everybody understand that US Bank is a biggie, right? So they are the 5th largest commercial bank by assets in the United States. They have branches in 26 states, and the cool thing here is that even if you don't live in an area that they cover geographically, you can still get this card because they cover the whole United States. And the bank's parent company is US Bank Corp. So they're headquartered in Minneapolis, and this is a full service bank that offers checking accounts, savings accounts, credit cards, money market accounts, CDs, loans, and other financial services. Okay, it also offers highly rated online and mobile banking tools. What we love about US Bank is that they offer credit cards to borrowers across the board, from low FICO all the way to excellent FICO. And this is basically unlike other traditional banks. Okay, now this is a big decision time. Let me ask you a question. Big decision time. Do you currently bank with US Bank? Do you have any checking account, savings account? Talk to me. Because you know what? If you're trying to get this card, if you want to get the $75,000 card, this card, you better open a bank account right now. You need to open a bank account. I don't care if it's a savings account or checking account, but you got to have an account. Because the thing is, if you have a skinny FICO, and if your FICO is 560 or 575, that's skinny, you better have a fat checking account. You need to have something. You need to have some moolah that is parked at one of the U.S. bank's accounts. It can be checking, savings, or CDs. Okay, and so this is overall. Would you say that this is a great credit card issuer, and they offer a lot of checking accounts, a lot of savings account. For example, you have the easy checking, the gold checking, the platinum checking, the safe debit account, the student checking. So you can even qualify if you're a student. Now, you're not getting the 75,000 limit that I was just talking about, because that's the maximum limit. You might get 10 grand or 20 grand or 15 grand, but hey, listen, that's kind of cool too, right? So after evaluating US Bank on tens of criteria, including the credit card variety, the card limit generosity, the cost, the reputation, and the customer service, we assign this card issuer a score of 9 over 10. Let me dig a little deeper here. Let's just talk in depth rather about this card, folks. In this show, just to give you some context here, I'm talking to you about a powerful credit card from US Bank. Maximum limit $75,000, FICO minimum 560. Okay, let's dig a little deeper here. So here is a card again. I just showed it to you earlier. This is the US Bank Altitude Go Visa signature card, and this card, you got to be strategic if you want to get it. The card is unsecured. In other words, they're not asking you for anything. There's no security. There's no money to be deposited. You can co-sign it. You can, if your spouse or your partner, you want to co-sign it, that's fantastic. The maximum you can get is 75. We've seen people who got 85 or 90, but it's very, very rare. So 75 seems to be the limit, the maximum limit. Credit score 560. We've seen people who actually got the card with a 550 FICO, but again, this is very rare. And the APR is great, 14.99% to 23.99%. There are no fees, okay? No fees. And the key benefits here is that you can earn 4x points on takeout, food delivery, and dining. You can earn 2x points at grocery stores, grocery delivery, streaming services, and gas stations, plus a $15 credit for annual streaming service purchases such as Netflix and Spotify. And this card carries no annual fee. This is wonderful. And here are the pros and cons in our view. The pros and cons of this card is that they have no penalty APR. They have no foreign transaction fee. For a no annual fee card, the rewards rates are very, 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 very generous. And the annual credit toward eligible streaming services is great also. The cons is that sometimes this card has a balance transfer fee, and there is no bonus rewards tier for entertainment spending. Okay, so something you need to be aware of. And one thing I want to see very clearly here is that this card is great when you compare it to the Chase Ultimate Rewards, the Chase Freedom Flex, the Chase Sapphire Preferred Card, or the Chase Sapphire Reserve. That's for the Chase cards, and the card doesn't do that well if you compare it to some of the Capital One cards. For example, the Capital One Saver One Cash Rewards credit card. This card is a better option in our view than the US Bank card. But hey, at the end of the day, it's all about your options. It's all about where you find yourself in terms of your credit score spectrum, right? So let me talk to you now about eligibility, folks. How do you how can you gain eligibility for this card? Again, we're talking here about a massive personal credit card from US Bank, maximum limits $75,000. All kinds of credits are welcome as long as the FICO is above 560. Okay, and so eligibility. One thing I want to say here is that US Bank accounts, you need to have a US Bank account. It is not mandatory, but it can be hugely decisive. Okay, they're not saying it on their website that you need to have a US Bank account, but if you really want to qualify for this card, especially if you have a bad or fair credit, you want to have a US Bank account. It could be a checking account, a savings account, doesn't matter. You also need to be at least 21 years old or 18 with either a parent's permission or a verifiable source of income. You need to have a source of income. When we talk about cards like this, cards from credit cards from traditional banks. If you want to play the no credit, low credit, or fair credit game, if you want to play it properly, you need to have some moolah in your checking account. So you got to have a verifiable source of income, and this can be, you know what? As a matter of fact, people always believe when you talk about verifiable source of income, they are thinking that if I have a side gig, it doesn't work. No, it does work. The only thing is you need to be able to back it up with a 1099 or your tax returns. So if you, let's say you have a side gig, so you are self-employed, you have a sole proprietorship. Chances are at the end of the year, you file tax returns, right? At least I hope for you that you do. So what you want to do is, if you're not getting a W-2 or the a 1099 from any employer, you just show U.S. Bank your tax returns. This is one of the reasons why I always say it's better to go to a branch than trying to apply online. Okay, here is a big decision time for you. Let me ask you a question. Do you currently have a positive credit history or negative credit history? Which band are you in? 500, 600, 700, 400, 300? Talk to me. Talk to me. The reason why you need to know this because you need to find out exactly how much you can qualify for and the APR they might charge you. And one thing that's very important here is to have the account, is to create the relationship I was talking to you about, to open bank account with US Bank and let them see that you're getting direct deposit every 2 weeks or every month or every week, for example, to see that you have a savings account, that you have some cash, even though your credit score is less than stellar. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. We're also having a conversation today about a wonderful credit card. This is a massive personal credit card from US Bank. Maximum limit $75,000. Minimum limit, there is none. We've seen people who receive like 5,000 or 1,000, and the minimum FICO score is 560. Okay, and the evidence needed. You need a lot of not a lot, but a few pieces of information here. First, they will be asking you some information, some questions on the credit card application itself, the form. They will ask you what kind of card you need, whether you are a tenant or homeowner, right? So if you are a tenant, for example, you will have to show them your monthly payment to your landlord. Or if you are a homeowner, then you want to show them your monthly mortgage statements. And they will ask you also what other personal debts you have and who your creditors are. And this is kind of important because US Bank, in this case, they're just trying to cover their ass. They're trying to make sure that from a risk mitigation standpoint, you are able to pay them back, and they can actually mitigate the risk. They can annihilate whatever default risk that you might pose to them as a credit card holder. Okay, and they would want to know if this is a joint credit card application or this is a single one. Okay, and they might want to see, as I said earlier, some of your tax returns, and normally the previous 3 years. So that would be your 1040, and most importantly, if you are sole proprietorship, if you're a self-employed, you want to show them the Schedule C, very important. And if you have a business on the side that you want to add, and you want to add information from the business onto your credit card application, you can also show US Bank your 1060 or 1120, depending on the setup, the legal setup of your business. Okay. Also, they might want to see financial statements. So they will want to see your personal financial statements, and this is a combo of your balance sheet, so your assets and liabilities and your net worth, your income statements, that will be your expenses, your income, and your cash flow statements. And they also might want to see bank statements from you, especially if you have no accounts with US Bank. This is why we always say it's always important to have an account or two with US Bank if you want to get any credit card or loan, for that matter, from them. Okay, how do you apply? How do you apply for it? Folks, in this show, I am talking to you about a very high limit, very generous credit card from US Bank, and the maximum limit is $75,000. The minimum credit score is 560. Okay, so you can apply via email if you receive an offer, via fax. You can apply over the phone, but our preference is to go into a branch. You can also mail in your application if you have received an offer from them, but it's better to go to the branch. But in today's show, I want to show you very quickly what information is required on the application form. So you can go online and apply. You can click on apply now. So you go to the usbank.com credit cards section, and you look for the US Bank Altitude Go Visa signature card. You can see on the screen here. It's a highly rated card, and just click on apply now, right? So you have the second screenshot. So you have to put your full name, your first name, your last name, and you have to put your email. Next, you put your phone number, and then you click continue. Now, one thing for sure is you want to read their cellular phone contact policy before you, because they will contact you, and they want to make sure that you are okay with their phone number policy. So read that. Next, you want to put your date of birth, your social security number, your citizenship status. Remember that this card you can get if you are a green card holder or a citizen, or even if you have you're a foreigner but you have an ITIN, an individual tax identification number. Next, they're asking you your home address, so you want to put your home address, where you live, the city, the zip code, all that kind of fun stuff. Next, you want to talk to them about your housing details, whether you own or rent, and how much you pay every month in terms of a rent or a mortgage. Next, you want to talk to them about your employment status, right? Whether you're full-time, part-time, you're a temporary worker, you have your own gig, your occupation, your income, right? So, and also you want to specify what's the source of the income, whether it is just employment income or alimony or dividends or inheritance, that kind of stuff. Next, you have to mention whether or not you want to do a balance transfer. So in our case, we said no balance transfer. Remember that at any time you can either call 1-800-644-7239, right? Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Central, and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central, or you can even just save the application and come back later on. Next, you just want to review everything. Take a moment to review everything. That's the first slide. You review the application. Second slide, you just review everything. You can save it or continue. Click continue. And then you want to read the terms and conditions, everything there. And then you just submit the application. And once you submit, you will see this screen here. It would say application is under review. Now let's talk let me give you a few pro tips, folks. Again, folks, I am talking to you today about a very high limit, very generous credit card from US Bank. Maximum limit here is $75,000. Minimum credit score required, 560. One thing for sure is that if you want to get this card, you need to establish a relationship with US Bank. I've said this on this show and other shows and on other shows. It is so quintessential to establish a relationship. What do I mean by that? US Bank is a financial colossus. They have a lot of services. They have a constellation of services and products. Try to have at least 2 asset accounts. You can have checking accounts and savings account, or it can be a checking and money market accounts, CDs. Those are asset accounts. I'm not speaking here about liability accounts, okay? And another thing you want to do is you want to see if you're interested in their investments or retirement planning services. Do you want to open an IRA with them? Do you want to open a 401k? All that kind of stuff. Okay. And also, you can also think about whether or not you want to open a brokerage account with them. What I'm trying to say here is that the more aspects of relationships you have with US Bank, the higher your chances of being approved for this high limit credit card, even if you have bad or fair credit. And you want to keep your documents in order, right? When I talk about keeping your documents in order, I'm speaking about your tax returns, your bank statements, your financial statements, and all those things. You can keep them electronically or in paper form, right? It depends on you. It's totally up to you. You can even save them on the cloud, or you can keep them on a USB key. And make sure. Let me ask you a question. This is big decision time. Big decision time. You need to demonstrate sufficient cash flow. Do you have enough cash flow right now? Talk to me. Do you have money parked at another bank? If yes, you might want to transfer some of that cash into a U.S. bank account. If your goal is to get the card we are talking about today, you need to park some of your cash there, okay? Because again, going back to what I said about relationship, and the cool thing about this card is that it is unsecured. So you don't have to pledge anything. You don't have to pledge any security deposit. No, the card will be issued to you. Again, you might not qualify for the 75,000 maximum limit, but even if you qualify for, say, 20 grand, 25 grand, 30 grand, or even 10 grand, it's still a good limit. All right, folks. I was talking to you today about a massive credit card from a U.S. bank, and I want to quickly give you a recap here. So I'll give you an overview of the card, credit card facts, the issuer overview, the card in depth. I spoke about eligibility. I spoke about evidence needed, how to apply, and last but not the least, I give you a few pro tips on how to increase your chances of approval. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I'll speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.